Japan is one of the biggest players in the modern fountain pen industry, and the pens manufactured by these major Japanese brands are known for their focused craftsmanship. Their incredible nibs are often cited as the most distinguishing aspect of their detail-oriented manufacturing, but pen companies like Platinum, Sailor, and Pilot really do have a whole lot more that they bring to the table. Today, I want you to sit down across the table from me here as though we're just hanging out and playing with some pens. I have here with me 7 Japanese fountain pens that I'm gonna hand to you because I really think you should try these at least once. Okay, if you've never written with a Pilot Falcon, you should give it a shot. While these pens do come in some degree of color variety, the star of the show here is the nib. You'll see right away that the Falcon nib looks pretty unique compared to the traditional nib profile. You've got no real shoulders on this nib. It's got a narrow beak-like form to it, and that sleekness extends to the feed as well. It all looks super rad, but it's practical because it allows this 14 karat gold nib to have a softness to it. When you use some pressure on your downstrokes with the Falcon, the tines separate a bit and create a wider line for you. And even if you don't use any pressure, the soft nib here really gives you a flowy writing experience that, again, I think you should try. Now, I'm only letting you try this because I trust you. I don't let just anyone play with my Falcon because they could really push hard for making big, crazy Spencerian calligraphy attempts and totally ruin the nib. It doesn't need to be overstressed, but I know you're gonna take care of that. You're gonna show restraint. I wanna show you another Pilot here. This one is a personal favorite, the E95S. Now, this pen is great if you want a comfortable writing experience. Also a 14 karat nib like the Falcon. This isn't made to give you any line variation per se, but it does bounce comfortably. If you've never written with a gold nib, I really want you to try this one. Not only is it the most affordable gold nib fountain pen that we have here at gouletpens.com, but if you're upgrading to your first gold nib pen, you want it to feel like an upgrade, right? Well, the E95 gives you that. There are some pretty stiff gold nibs out there, and if it's your first try, some might make you wonder, like, what's the big deal with gold nibs? That won't be the case with this pen. It has great flow. Its, moderate bounce provides you with a just tremendously delightful experience. Not to mention the fact that this pen's body is super convenient. Capping into a small portable form and then posting into a full-size version with no threads to get in the way of your fingers. So while you're, playing around with this pen, post it and cap it and feel how smooth the cap goes on. There's a lot to love about this pen, so give it a try. One well-known observation about Japanese pens is that their fine and extra fine nib sizes are noticeably more fine than those same sizes from Europe. So if you have a Lamy fountain pen from Germany in fine, and you really like it and you want to get a Japanese pen in the same size, do you go a size up? So while we do have an online tool called the Nib Nook that lets you compare any nib size of the fountain pens we sell, I also want you to write with a medium fine Sailor nib. Yes, that's right, medium fine. It has a happy balance between medium and fine, Japanese medium and fine. This is oftentimes Sailor's most popular nib size too. So while all that is cool, I also want you to try this nib for another reason. You see, Sailor's nibs have a distinct feel to them while writing. They're not slippery smooth, for one. After writing with this, you may notice that these nibs have a bit of feedback to them, a feeling of texture that you get while you're using it. We sometimes compare it to the feeling of a pencil, but of course, even pencils can vary greatly. The bottom line is that I think you should feel this for yourself. You might love it. You can find medium fine nibs on most of Sailor's Pro Gear and 1911 model fountain pens, so you've got a ton of color options. Platinum is another Japanese fountain pen manufacturer that produces some excellent stuff. But none of it is more excellent than the Platinum Preppy. Don't look at me like that. Hang on. I want you to try this. Take it home, pop in the cartridge that comes with it, put it on a desk drawer. Ignore it for a month or so. Guess what? Not only will it write, but it'll write well. For less than $10, you get a solid writing experience and a cap that seals remarkably well. This little spring-loaded inner cap keeps the Preppy ready to go when you need it. The capping is this pen's superpower, without a doubt. So, Platinum, great company, bunch of great models, but all of them, all those other models, they compete with some other worthy or dominant competitors. The Preppy, though, it owns the sub $10 zone. It's one of, if not the best-selling fountain pen in the world, having sold 10 million of these since it launched in 2007. A fun and popular feature that it also has is that it is relatively easy to add an O-ring and some silicone grease here, and then barrel fill the entire barrel with ink, which makes the Preppy a great choice for weird or hard to clean ink varieties. So even if you don't think this is the pen for you, try it for a while, and I'll bet at the very least, it'll earn your appreciation. All right, you want another not cheap, but accessible fountain pen from Japan? The Pilot Kakuno here. It's around $14, so not quite as affordable as the Preppy, but I do want you to write with this one. Okay, so that writing experience that you're getting there, that's going to feel real familiar if you've ever used a Pilot Metropolitan, a Pilot Explorer, or a Pilot Prera, which is $60 by the way. And yeah, this one is less than 15. So as far as bang for your buck goes, you have to hand it to the Kakuno. That's why this pen has been my go-to gift pen for the last couple of years. It's durable and delivers the consistent and reliable flow that Pilot is known for. While the outward aesthetics might not be your cup of tea, how could you say no to this face? Just spend a little bit of time with the Kakuno, and I think it'll surprise you. If it doesn't find its way into your personal arsenal of writing goodies, face it, it's got value as a fantastic gift option. So the other day, I was in here and I had mentioned that I hadn't had many opportunities to write with Sailor's King of Pen nib. Upon hearing this, Mr. Brian Goulet went and grabbed this pen and said, "Drew, you seriously need to try this right now." So here I am telling you the same thing. Now, I admit that of these, this one is probably the most difficult to casually encounter. I mean, even working here, these just didn't come my way often. But if you do get to the chance to write with one, I'm certain that you won't be disappointed. The first thing I want you to check out is the pen itself. Hold it, feel it. It is a bigger pen, but I think you'll find that it's surprisingly lightweight, considering its size. I was surprised by it. If you've ever written with a pen this size, you might think that it could be cumbersome. And I get that. I don't gravitate towards large pens either. But when I get this one in my hand, they always surprise me at how shockingly comfortable they are to write with. The larger grip really is more comfortable to grab. And of course, I also want you to check out the 21 karat nib. These nibs are very much a Sailor thing, the 21 karat ones. So you can find them on this one and the 1911L and the Pro Gear. But the King of Pen nib provides you with a bit of softness that's pretty uncommon for Sailor nibs. From the hand to the paper, it really is a special writing experience and an opportunity that, given the chance, you should jump on. Based on its popularity, there's a good chance that you have come across a Pilot Vanishing Point before. This pen is celebrating its 60th anniversary this year and is one of the most popular models in the industry. However, since it is so different from traditional fountain pens, some folks look at it and decide that it's not for them. So just try it. First and foremost, hold it like you're going to write, okay? Many people think that the clip being positioned near the grip is going to be super uncomfortable. Honestly, your fingers might not even touch the clip at all, depending on your grip. And if it does, you might actually find that it feels secure and surprisingly comfortable. I've spoken with many people over the years who have had a preconceived notion about this clip and later realized that it did not bother them in the least. Of course, you have this pen in hand, right? You've got to play with it. The retractable mechanism is super solid. I mean, having been a reliable design for decades now, 60 years. And yeah, the nib is, super tiny. But again, don't be too quick to judge. The 18 karat gold nib is a delight, and it is extraordinarily consistent. I particularly love the extra fine on this one. Thank you for sitting down with me today and letting me throw some pens at you. If you did want to try any of these pens, Pilot, Sailor, and Platinum will usually have these available at the larger US-based pen shows. So in August, consider visiting the Washington, D.C. or San Francisco show and test drive them for yourself. Until then, have fun, ride on.